And we are back. Actually, wait, no, I skipped that. That's my bad. And we are back with the third segment of the GSMC Basketball Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. And in this third segment, I'm going to go ahead and just give a quick recap of this game that's been going on right now and sort of, who's been playing well, who hasn't been playing well, what's been working, what hasn't been working. So, as of right now, France is leading by a huge margin. 45-29 was the halftime score. And right now the score is 48-29 in favor of France. And so far, this game has really not been close at all. And it's really just been France just destroying the Canadian team. Now, for Canada, there aren't really... The only player that really stood out for me was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was the one that's been really hitting all of these kinds of shots. Everyone else has sort of been very quiet in this game. I mean, let's go over the box scores. RJ Barrett, he's played the most minutes alongside anyone else aside from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But his production, he's only scored 3 points in this game and recorded 2 rebounds as well as 3 assists. Now, that is not enough for a team like the French. Like, you really need to be competent enough to produce. And everyone's favorite hater, Dylan Brooks, everyone's favorite villain, whatever you want to call it, has been completely quiet throughout the entirety of this game. 0 for 6, 0 for 3 from 3, and he's done nothing but just brick every single shot. Here he has the ball and he almost turns it over, but he doesn't. But again, this has just been incredibly disappointing from the Canadian team, who have, they've been dominant throughout a majority of the, of their seedings, right? Like, we've seen it before and we're seeing it. Like, they're flawless for a reason. Like, they've been flawless for a reason. So the fact that they're losing to an actual competitive team sort of makes it seem like these games have been a little bit, I don't want to say, yeah, you know what, I'm going to say it. They've been a little bit of a fluke, because there is an argument that can be made that the Group A phase was the weakest phase in the entire Olympic standings. I mean, they didn't have the United States or Serbia, and not to mention Australia lost to Serbia, and they also didn't have the French or the German team. Like, they were going up against some bottom team, like some bottom feeding teams. They had Spain in their group. They had Greece in their group. They also had Australia in their group, and all of those teams are 1 and 2, like, within the group standings. They didn't face any sort of legitimately good team. Meanwhile, France just made, or is that France or is that Canada? Yeah, no, that's France. It seems like Canada, just Lou Dort seemed to make an and one bucket at the basket. Okay, that should be enough to, then maybe that'll catalyst into something. But, aside from that, this is like the first good team that Canada is playing against. And when you look at the competition between Group A and the rest of the tournaments, it's not going to be easy for the Canadian team to advance if they continue to advance. But as of right now, it's not looking good. It's really not looking good. And again, like, aside from Dylan Brooks not playing very well, there's also, Dwight Powell. He's another player who hasn't even attempted a shot yet. He's not playing well for the Canadian team. Kelly Olynyk also not playing well for the team. And who else did I notice that wasn't playing well? I mean, he's doing all right, but France just keeps answering and answering and answering back. Like, every single time Canada gets a bucket, the French team answer right back. And it's not just Victor. Like, so many other players on the French team, so many players on the French team are playing at their best. Like, they're really playing some very dominant basketball right now. And one thing that I should note, Rudy Gobert has been benched for a majority of this game. And they have Victor Wembanyama running the true center position. So I believe this is sort of to match up with the Canadian team because the Canadian team has a lot of shooters. And if you were to put Rudy Gobert in that lineup against all of those shooters, meanwhile as well having Victor Wembanyama, it would not only seem a little bit repetitive, but it also would affect your rotation and your ability to run towards the three-point area because Victor, while he is tall, he's quick on his feet. And being quick on your feet is really what you need in order to, make rotations and rotate over to the three-point line whenever you need to because Canada has a lot of three-point shooters. Like, a lot of three-point shooters. Literally, their entire starting lineup can be a three-point shooting lineup. But so far, their shooting has not really been up to par with France's team. Meanwhile, RJ Barrett makes an and one basket near the paint and goes to the line for one more. And now it seems like, the Canadian team is about to fight. But then again, every single time Canada scores, the French team scores right back. But anyways, some of the top performers for France, again, not Victor Wembanyama. As surprising to say, Victor has been very quiet in terms of scoring. He's 0 for 3 from the field, has 2 points. He's been double-teamed a majority of the time he gets the ball, so he has to be more of a facilitator now. He has 3 assists, and he was also able to record 3 steals. Hasn't recorded a block yet, but, the game is still young. And really, the scoring for the French team it's all been Isaiah Cordinier. You guys probably don't know who he is. He's 5 for 7 from the field and 4 for 5 from 3. And then there's also Gershon Yabusele. Again, forgive me if I completely botched those last names, but he has 14 points, 4 for 6 from the field, and 2 of 3 from 3. Now, these two players, they're having a ball game. They are playing their best basketball, and at the most important times ever. Now, we have a kickball here because Victor Wembanyama literally cannot have a single minute of just, having the ball peacefully. But now Victor just got benched, and Victor's on the bench. So now they're in they have a small lineup out there right now. But then again, not having Victor in the lineup, I guess, any center is going to look small when looking at Victor. Dillon Brooks misses another layup once again. No surprise there. It really, I swear, Dillon Brooks, I understand why no one likes Dillon Brooks because he talks so much, but he plays like, I don't even know what he plays like, but he talks the talk, but does he walk the walk? No, he doesn't. It's really annoying because it's like when you see someone that's talking, yet they have but it seems like they don't play nearly as well as what they're talking about. It's really annoying to me. I don't know if it's annoying to you guys as Shai Gilgeous gets a bucket to make the score 50-39 in favor of France still. I mean, every single time Canada gets a bucket, France answers back. But France has sort of been getting a little bit dirty with the turnovers. Like, they're getting a lot more turnovers now. Shai is scoring a lot more now for the Canadian team. He's got 17 points. He's leading the team in scoring, and he just got fouled. So, this is sort of how the game has been going for the Canadian team. And this is like what's happening now, what has been happening since the beginning of the second half. Now, the only difference is that France is getting a little bit sloppier. So, do they have a chance of coming back? Everyone has a chance of coming back in this tournament, but we'll see. But as of right now, that'll be all for the third segment. So now I will go ahead and go into the fourth segment where I talk about why NBA players and why, top basketball players cannot compete in the 3-on-3 basketball tournament in the Olympics, because aside from having a 5-on-5 team, there's also a 3-on-3 team, and the United States recently lost in both of those categories. So I'll be right back after the short break explaining why, so be sure to stay tuned for that.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows. Available everywhere podcasts are found.